what's going on. And you know that it's always in the most of the time in the end of my recording of the podcast, there is spirits coming through. But I told you that from the beginning it was a spirit here, and it's it. Of course, I should understand it, that it was a woman that should come through, because I'm talking about women. So she was from the start. They know what's going on 1 hour from now, for example. They know the whole our life, the whole life. So that was easy for her to know that I should talk about women in the church. And so she's coming forward, and she says she has something with her to us, to you and me. She said she have like a stick, a thick, like a walking stick, but it's not a really walking stick. It's more like a shape of a pin, and she places it in the ground. And she said, this is what it is. She says, so in the same time she placed this stick into the ground. She said that that's her way to pointing out that she do everything to help me to get the power for us women that hear from God. And she said that she's showing me very much wind is like almost like a storm is on her. And she said that's only men that is in the storm. There is no women that is against it in their heart, because they know who they are, and they know that they hear from God, and they are stopped only. They have been stopped and been forced to think that men only hear from God, and men have all the power. And she say we strive against the storm in the spirit world. From heaven we work against those men's proud that make us not come forward because we are women. And that's not of God, because God, He talking to both genders, both men and women. He talked to those that is not reading books. He talked to those that is reading the books. He talked to those people that doesn't read the books. And he talking to those people walking on the street. And he talking to people that is in the temple. He is talking to everyone. And as you have told your listener that a little dog can change things, so everything that is living can God use to give a message to people. And so why doesn't men accept that a woman was a woman, she holds a baby boy in her womb. She carry those men inside her. And the baby become a part of her. When being born, he have both his father's side and the mother's side being born. So why should not women be equal with men to come to hear from God? On those women that is born of this woman, they have the father side and the mother side inside them. So they are equal with the baby boy that is born. And the baby boy born and the girl baby born, they have the same equal. They are coming from the same source. They're coming from one father, both of them. So they have the father in them. And that's when you realize that, you see how foolish and proud it is for men to say that women doesn't hear from God. And if they hear from God, is it only for personal use, personal testimony, not for telling other people that they hear from God. But men can talking about God and do act in what they hear from God. But this woman can't do that. She stopped. And there some leaders let women talk, but it's very few that allowed it, and it should be much more, because in God's way to see the human, God's way to see his creation, that his creation is equal. They are working together. They are not going to be helpmates in that way that those men that have translated, interpret those fragments of the Bible that they have found. Those men put it like women should be a helpmate to the man, when it is the truth from God is that they should be equal when it comes to spirit work. In the home, there is the man that is the head of the family in their home, but in the spirit is not the home. The spirit have no home. The spirit have no house. The spirit is free. The spirit have no limits. So that's in the spirit, women and men should be equal. But in the home, there you can have different roles, but not in the spirit. The spirit, she's showing me like a peak, like a triangle. So it's coming from the home a triangle, and it's a triangle that sit outside that house. She showed me like a house, and it's like a peak out from the home, and that's where the spirit is. The spirit have no house. The spirit is free. The spirit is a spirit can talk to another spirit, and God is a spirit. So he talked to your spirit, and it have no limit of if you are a woman or if you are a man. The spirit have no gender. The spirit is one. So that's what she wanted to come forward to talk about. So I thank her for coming forward to teach us. I knew these sort of things, but it's good to get a voice that someone from behind the veil that's come from heaven is telling us these things. That like she confirmed it, what many of us know it already, but it's good to get it confirmed from heaven. So I thank you, and I thank you for